everybody. Welcome to Boob Camp Day 3. And you know what? I am so excited about Boob Camp Day 3s because this is where I get to bring somebody from our community. And this person by far deserves the biggest star and the biggest round of applause because
Aww.
coming into my lymphatic world, I honestly need you, honey. Like, I
Mm.
need you. I can't keep on doing this by myself anymore. We've got way too big. We've got so many women needing us, and I love having you share, share, share. You are sharing from your heart, Liana. Like, you are sharing your rawness. You are like, you're happy to say period and like endometriosis and like just sharing your rawness, and I like that's what I love to do too. And but yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you and welcome into Boob Camp. And this year I put it out there and I said I'm only meeting having people in my life who are my lifers. So whether you like it or not, honey, you're a lifer with
Aw.
me. Okay.
Babe, thank you.
So yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. We've still got people joining into the Zoom room. So we've got live on Facebook as well as joining in Zoom. And for those of you who haven't been watching Instagram, um, Liana has been sharing a lot of her story. And then she's been sharing like, oh my God, I've come across these gloves and now my life has changed. So I want to hear a little bit about your story, babe, from those who haven't been following along. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about
First
you.
of all, first of all, I said to you off of the camera before, but I just want to appreciate you for fully engaging and accepting me and welcoming me into your community like you have. Because as I've said before, I have been sharing my story for the past 6 years, and there have been quite a few times where I've collaborated with other people, but it hasn't been with reciprocity, and it's left a really sour taste in my mouth. So to be able to share like I have and to have you back me and support me because we're both like meeting each other with the same passion and the degree of like enthusiasm to get this out to people, like it's been beyond for me. So thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here. And hi, I am Leanna Bishop. I am a breath master trained breath coach, and that's all the fancy stuff. Basically, I'm a mum just like you. I've got two teenagers and I'm navigating the depths of perimenopause right now, alongside of lifetimes worth of challenges that I have had. As Chelsey mentioned before, endometriosis being my main overarching um, chronic health issue that I've had. And for the past couple of years, I've trained myself to become a breathwork coach because I found breathwork to be a really pivotal part in my health and wellness journey. In fact, it actually was the catalyst for decades worth of things that I hadn't actually been able to access. And I'm talking about like deep-seated emotions that were stored in my body. Uh, Prior to that, though, prior to all of this happening for me and having any kind of presence online, I was a working mum. I had two small children in primary school at the time, and I had a corporate career that absolutely destroyed me physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, the whole lot. So much so that at 40, I had a nervous breakdown and fully went through the darkest patch and period of my life when my whole body basically shut down on me. So the stress that I was experiencing from my job, the stress that I was experiencing in my home life because my marriage was also falling apart at that time. We've since rebuilt it. Thank you. That's taken a lot of work. But there was that. There was a work element. I was addicted to my job, although it was toxic and horrible for me. I was a chronic people pleaser, like to the point of I didn't even know how to give myself any time, any affection, any love. And my body stopped working, literally. My adrenals were in complete burnout. I was losing my hair. I lost a lot of weight. I was unable to digest food. And when I finally left my job and the toxic people that were playing a big part of that, I started to try and work out what I could do with my life. And that then made me plummet because without my job, I had no identity. Without needing to be there for people and fixing everybody else's problems and being the go-to person, I lost my identity. And hence my body just absolutely shut down on me. And it was a time where I had to then look at who I was, what I was doing, and seek out professional people that could help me. So I put myself in therapy. I found a lot of different naturopaths, nutritionalists. I spent thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars working with all kinds of coaches, all kinds of holistic health practitioners. We found out that along with my endometriosis, which I had had a hysterectomy for at 37, very young, very early, because my symptoms were so bad, I had exhausted all other possibilities. I'd had many surgeries in the lead up to that hysterectomy. I'd also had two emergency very traumatic C-sections with both of my children as well. And so my body has gone through a lot. When I had the hysterectomy, ironically, a few weeks later, I ended up with a blood clot in my lung and almost died. And it's just been this catalyst of health disasters for me that compounded one after the other. And so at 40, that was the pivotal moment. Call it a midlife crisis, call it what you like, but it all got too much, and my body just said no more. So through that journey of holistic health and wellness, I said to you, I worked with a lot of different coaches, practitioners, you name it. I've done everything, and I was treated for SIBO, which a lot of people don't know about, but it's called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It can make you very sick. And the treatment for that at the time was 2 weeks on a protocol of liquid. So I had 2 weeks of no eating whatsoever, and I was drinking these chocolate paddle pop, disgusting chocolate shakes to try and kill off the bacteria because they also discovered that I was highly toxic. Like my blood was full of mercury. I had a heavy, heavy toxin load. I have the MTHFR gene, which causes the detoxification pathways not to correctly work. It's a mutation of the genes that compromises my health before I even do anything else, right? So I like to think of it as if I was walking around, I reckon I would have looked radioactive, like with all the people, the leeches I had on me, the job I had going on, like it was just, I was a mess. So to look at me now, 6 years on, that was in 2019, I'm not the same woman. Like I've transformed my entire life, my relationships, my health, my marriage, how I relate to my children, my friends, my circle of friends, everything for me has completely shifted. Now that's dramatic and that was necessary in my journey and in my growth. But here we are. And yeah, I've got a lot to say about detoxification. I was very early on recommended dry brushing. The nutritionist I was working with at the time got me onto dry brushing. I bought myself an infrared sauna. I have one in my home. I use it every 3 days. That's just part of my life now because I need to do that. But at no point in any of what I just told you had anybody ever, ever, ever told me about the power of my breath, the necessity for me to breathe correctly. No one had ever broken down for me the difference between a nasal breath and a belly breath and why that is vitally important to know the difference and where you're actually breathing from. None of that was exposed. And so through that journey of me discovering modalities that I could try, I've tried, like I said, I've tried them all. Breathwork came to me where I did a series of really big, deep breath journeys. And that's not what I'm going to be speaking about today. Although I do facilitate those, that is not what I'm here to talk about. No one actually told me how to regulate my nervous system after I'd had a nervous breakdown. No one actually gave me the science or the biology around the breath and how that affects our health and well-being. And so I decided to start sharing all of that on Instagram, and I built a business, and I've supported women all over the world for the past 2 years. And I love my life. Like, I finally can say now with my whole heart, like, and I get emotional about it. I love my life. Um, I don't have the perfect life. I don't have the perfect body. I'm still achy and painful. I'm currently having shockwave therapy on plantar fasciitis that is fucking brutal. Like, there are things that are still going on, but I have the tools and I have the faith and the trust and the foundation of a relationship with me, a self-love relationship with me now that's unshakable. And that is what gets me through the hard times now. That connection to my breath and to my inner landscape has been transformative. And combining it now with these magic gloves that we all have, or if you don't have them, you soon will have them. That has been a profound shift in building an even deeper connection with my body. So, Chelsey, thank you for creating it. Thank you for giving me the airtime to blurb all that out to you tonight.
I thank you for sharing, honey. Thank you so much for sharing, because you would not be the only one, right?
I know I'm not.
You are
Yeah.
not the only one who gets to that edge of the cliff where
Yeah.
everything is just loaded up, loaded
Yeah.
up, loaded up. It's like you said to you, what else can you give me? And it gives it to you,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Left, right, and center. It's given
Yeah.
to you. And then
Yeah.
you get to that edge of the cliff.
I was at the edge of the cliff. I've never been so scared in my life at the edge of the, like, mentally.
Yeah.
I was at the point where I did not want to be here anymore. I had those thoughts. I went to that place and I was there for a long time. And I tell the story over and over again. I haven't told it for a while, but it was the one thing that snapped me out of it. So I was 3 weeks after I left my job, and I went into the darkest, deepest depression, that I was in a fetal position on the couch for days, and my kids still had to get to school. And so I'd eventually get them off to school. I'd pack their lunches and do all the mum things because I masked everything. Like, everything's fine. I can do all this. But this one morning I couldn't, and I was on the couch, and my daughter saw me there when she went to school, and her dad took her to school. And she came home, and I was still there. And she came up to me, and I still get chills when I say it. So she came up to me and she squatted down and she looked me dead in the eyes and she just said, "Mum." And she held my gaze. And for the first time in what felt like decades, I saw myself reflected in her eyes. That if I didn't change my whole thinking, thought process, way of being, she was going to mirror exactly who I was in her own life. And I couldn't bear it a second more. And that was the day that I got on my computer and looked for a therapist,
Yeah.
because I knew I was in trouble and I knew I needed help.
Well done.
And that changed it. Like, I credit that to her. Like, she was the one, because I knew generationally, she monkey see, monkey do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a bit about me.
Yeah. So there's one thing about, we don't want people to have to get to the edge, right? I've never been there. I can
Mm.
honestly say that I've never been there, that I have built up the tools in my life to catch myself, to know when I see a trigger, to
Mm.
identify what it is, and to catch it. And guess what I do when I catch it?
Yeah,
First thing I do is I take a big breath.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really important. Like, that's why breath work has become my life. It's funny how when I said to you before, I got a blood clot in my lung. That's no coincidence.
No.
Like, that was made for me, and that came after my hysterectomy. It's all happened for me. Every single moment, every single hardship, every single thing that I've had to endure and overcome has been absolutely perfect. And any of you who are sitting here tonight and you're in similar positions, or you're going through something that you're finding really difficult right now, I see you. Like, I see you. But I want to be able to just give you some hope that there are tools and there are ways that you can get through that now. And I'm grateful that I found them and that they found me. And for me to have now a platform to be able to share that with other women too.
Yeah, and that's why one of the big things that I'm doing that I haven't really shared with anyone is I'm bringing all of these coaches together into our Boob Camp group. So Boob Camp is going to evolve. It's not only going to be about lymphatics, even though the lymphatic system is the underpinning of all health concerns. We're going to have coaches in there. So if you have a question that breath work can help with, or you have a question that sleep, or if you have a physio question, or if you have a movement and exercise question. So we're putting coaches into our Boob Camp Facebook group so we can have this rawness, we can have this honesty, we can have this chat, and we'll be able to, if I don't know the answer, then I'm going to have a team member who is going to be able to support our Boob Camp ladies through with whatever they need to get them to the next step, because that's all that we want to do. We wanted to show you that one step of what you can do next, because when you get to there, something else will open up. And then when you get to there, something else then will open up. It's just that one step. And when you are in your deepest, darkest times, you can have 10 people shining a torch on you, you might not even see.
You don't. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely a timing thing. Like the right things, the right modalities, the right healing, the right person will find you when you need it and
Yeah.
when you're ready to have that. I've worked with a lot of women who have been curious about breath work, but it wasn't the right time, right? It didn't fit in with their timeline, where they're at in their health journey. But they've come back years later, months later, when it is time for them and they are ready and they are more curious. And I think that's really what my page and my Instagram, I want it to be, a place where I share for women to be curious, for me to share what I'm doing, my experiences, what I'm moving through, what life looks like, and for them to be curious enough to watch and learn and then ask questions and then follow that thread themselves. My life has been a series of following the threads, right? I found breath work and I've taken it right to the end. I am done with that yet. Like, and now to combine it with lymphatics, like I am definitely not done with that yet. You're going to see me and you're going to be sick of my face. Okay. I'm just warning you now, because I know how deeply this has changed me. I know physically what is happening in my body. So I said to you before how I was highly toxic, right? Yes, I've been doing all the things. I've been taking all the supplements, although I have backed off on that a lot lately because I've wanted to give my body an opportunity to just do its thing without actually changing it and accepting it for what it is, right? But supporting it. Supporting it for me right now looks like my regular saunas. This without fail twice a day. I do this twice a day. And the reason I do it is because I also have lipedema. Now, Chelsey was pivotal in me understanding what that even was. I've had this my whole adult life. It got worse when I had my children and all my surgeries, clearly. But to now know what that is, I now have the tools. And the difference this has made in my body is out of this world. So I've got a sauna. I've been using a sauna for 5 years, an infrared sauna. I would get in that sauna prior to these gloves, and it would take me 35 minutes out of a 45-minute session to sweat, to literally get beads of moisture on my skin. My body does not want to let go of anything. It holds on for dear life, right? Just like I did with all of my emotions, it clenched, is how I would describe myself post Liana. Now I do this before I get in. Within 30 seconds, I am like running rivers. My body never did that before. Okay, so that's proven to me without a doubt that this is actually having a massive effect. And I think too, I'm coming back to the breath. I've built up a faith and a trust in my timing and in my life and in what I cannot see. And that's been something I've developed with breath work and having a regular practice, a meditative practice that reduces my stress levels because breath work engages the parasympathetic nervous system, which puts you into rest and digest. I shared a reel on this the other day I think a lot of you did see it around nasal breathing versus belly breathing.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, okay. So I want you to do a little experiment for me right now, and I don't want you to force your breath in any way. I just want you to put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and just breathe. And I want you to feel where the breath is coming in from. Right in the chat box, I'd like to see. Is it coming from your belly, through your mouth and your nose, or is it coming from your chest, short and shallow? If
So
it's coming from your, go,
I know that this is
chest.
my nose, but if
Yeah,
I put my hand on my belly, then I know that I want it to go there. But if
yeah.
I didn't have my hand on my belly, it would go to my chest.
Yeah, and honestly, this is going to be, yeah, nose and belly, cool. Honestly, 95% of the population are breathing from their chest, shallow from their chest. And the reason for that is we're living busy lives, overwhelmed, very active, no time to rest, no time to sit, no time to just stop. And by default, if you're shallow chested breathing, you are instantly putting your body into a stressed state without you even going out into your life. The minute you get out of bed in the morning, if you're a shallow chested breather, you are putting your body into fight or flight, and instantly you're creating cortisol, the hormone cortisol, the stress hormone, and that's what's flooding your system. So, my goal is to get more women breath aware to start with, of where their breath is going and how they can change that. And that will take time and that will take your practice and your perseverance. Because if you've always done it one way, that's how you've done it. And you're going to have to break that cycle. I'm asthmatic and have a serious lung disease, ABP. Yeah. Okay. So for you, breathing is going to be even more important to actually stop and to be conscious and to do exercises that's going to like increase your capacity and your diaphragm. So why we want to be breathing from our belly in the case of lymphatic drainage is we need to be activating our diaphragm, that big muscle that sits underneath your lungs. That's got to go in and out, expand and contract so that we can then push the lymphatic fluid around. And so if you're not activating your breath correctly when you're doing your 2 minute sequence every day, my darlings, I hate to tell you, but you're not going to be getting the effectiveness of your gloves. You're not wasting your time because you're still doing something, but you're not doing yourself justice, is what I'm probably wanting to say to you. Okay. So
I
that
think
is why,
I just want to say, I think one thing that we do as women as well is because our tummies might be getting a little bit bigger than what we want it to be, what do? We're always holding our
yeah,
tummies in because we don't
yep.
want the tummies to stick out. And
Yeah, that is such a good point, Chelsey, and that's what everyone does, and I'm guilty of it too. And don't think I'm perfect in any of this because I have to check myself as well, right? But we suck our tummies in because we think it's going to be smaller. It's not, we can still see it. So let it go. Like, let it go. Your diaphragm has to move because if you don't, you're going to seriously start impeding your health. It's that simple. And
yeah,
it's such a epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, but no one talks about it because we all breathe automatically. Like it's a function we don't have to think about, right? We're all alive, we're breathing. Why do I need to teach you how to breathe, Leanna? I get that all the time. Why do I need a breathwork coach? Because you don't know how to breathe correctly. Now we could take that. I don't want to get too deep into it tonight. I want to give you just like digestible amounts. There's other things to say around mouth breathing versus nasal breathing. I'm going to just tell you right now that I would like you to consciously start breathing through your nose as much as you can. For those of you who are like me and like want to take it to the nth degree, try mouth taping at night. It will really rapidly and quickly help you to start nasal breathing during the day. I know that can be scary, but you don't have to tape it all the way. You can leave little side bits so that your spit can dribble out the side, whatever. All right. That's something we can talk about later if you want to ask me questions
because
about it.
of the
Sure.
filtration, right? Because of the filtration.
Yeah. Yeah. But practicing nasal breathing from your belly in a cycle is going to game change your stress
Mhm.
every single day. So 2 minutes a day alongside of your lymphatic sequence. And I know some of you who have tried the little audio I put together before with me in the free sessions I was doing have said, "Oh, I can't get it right. I can't get the breathe your instruction and trying to brush myself and breathe at the same time." I want you to drop all that noise because that's stress right there. No one has to be perfect. You're gonna fuck it up. It's not going to be flowful and easy in a yoga meditative practice like the Buddha on a mountain. It's not that, right? It doesn't start off that way. Mine looks a bit more like that now, but this is what I live and breathe and do every day, right? But for the starters, it doesn't have to. Like, let yourself off the chain, girls, and let yourself be messy and chaotic, but just go back. Like, don't give up on it, go back. And if you need help, please always come and ask me. I am going to run through the little audio I've created for you today. I'm going to play that for you. It is 19.95 to download. Those of you who want to go ahead and get it later, you can. I would encourage you to do that because it's going to be something that will amplify your practice. But we're going to do it tonight for free because I just need you to feel the difference when you start to give yourself a little bit of extra time and care and not just do this as a quick, I've got to tick a box and get it done. There has to be a little bit more intentionality in all of our lives to give to ourselves. You're all busy working women, I'm sure. If you're not working anymore, you're all busy grandmas, you're doing your thing. Time for yourself and building a relationship for you, love and respect and support in your body is going to completely change your wellness. Like, it's going to give you end game longevity. And that's my goal. And I know that's Chelsea's goal is to like promote that end game longevity, sustainability, not just a band-aid quick course that you've done from somewhere. This is lifelong foundational work that
Yeah.
we're doing here tonight.
Yeah. In a way that should have been taught to you by your mum and then by your
Yeah.
grandma and by your great grandma. And for the years and years and years, unfortunately, it has been toned out on purpose.
Mm.
All of this breath work has been toned out. All of the sleeping, getting women and all that whole feminine movement of getting them off
Yeah.
work and the same with lymphatics. It's all been on purposely toned out because they've bought in the pharmaceuticals and they've bought in the education and the way that we should be doing things like we are robots. So we're
Hmm.
trying to get away from that and connect once again to more primal ways of living. And the most important one in that primal is that breath,
Yeah.
is breathing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like in our busy lifestyles now, in the stress that we're all in the overwhelmed mothers is literally like celebrated. It is celebrated if you're overwhelmed, anxious, can't eat your lunch, can't go on a lunch break, which was also me, has to sit at the computer and eat really quickly and fast. Like this is what our society and our culture is now.
Yeah.
And of course, our breathing adapts to that. If you're highly stressed and anxious, your body believes that you're in danger. That's the primal, that is it in a nutshell. It believes that you are in danger and have to run away from the tiger and the bear that's going to destroy you. So
And
we need to
okay.
yeah,
That's
we need to,
okay for the first couple of years and a couple of years. But guess what's happened once you hit the 40? The years that you've taken, you've stripped. You've stripped
yeah,
from that battery, that long life battery, that second tank. That second tank is not even there, that backup tank.
no,
You've
no,
stripped.
no, I couldn't function. God willing gave me this at 40 because now at 45, when I'm going through menopause and my symptoms are really quite intense at times, if I was still me then, I would be in a world of pain. So my goal is to like get to a lot of you now so that midlife can feel better. Like I am in the best shape of my damn life, even with all the things going on. My body, I lost a lot of weight. So I got down to like 58 kilos. That's unheard of for me because I've been like overweight my entire life. Hence the endo, there's a whole thing there, right? Now I've put on some more weight, but I am healthier now than I've ever been at any stage in my life. And to love and accept my body how it is and to support what is here. Because it's been through everything and I'm still fucking standing, just like you guys are. Right? And so, but we can better that by choosing to do some basic, simple practices. And Chelsea's made this super easy. Like she's made a sequence that I didn't even know existed. Like when you get your dry breath, who tells you that you've got to do these different, open the chest first and do this? I didn't know any of that. And so that's why like sharing it has been such a joy and a privilege. And it's why like people are really resonating with that. Because I'm like, I didn't know any of this stuff. Did you? Like, let's do this together. But yeah, I really want to amplify and piggyback off of Chelsea just to amplify that. Like, let's connect the breath. Let's get you back into a good, solid rhythm so you can A, help your lymphatic system, yeah, but B, decrease your stress and C, deal with life.
Yeah, give you
Like,
years back. Years.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, deal with life.
Yeah. You can't hate yourself healthy.
No way. And this has been my biggest thing. Yeah, I'll admit, like growing up really overweight and dealing with that my entire life, I had no self-respect, no self-worth, none. I didn't have a mother who was emotionally available for me. She was physically, right? I haven't had the big T trauma in my life, okay? So when we talk about trauma, and I'm trauma informed and have had the training for that as well. I haven't had the real nasty, horrible things happen in my life. What I have had is a lot of emotional trauma and a lot of medical trauma and a lot of inner trauma that my brain has literally created for itself. So to be able to now use my breath and access my breath to be able to shift that, regulate that, hold space for that, and build safety in my body to be with that I can now be with my children as they go through their own traumas. They're going to have their own stuff that they're going to need a therapist for at 40. Good, I say. Like, I'm no longer afraid of fucking up my kids. They're going to have their own stuff that they're going to have to grow from, right? And they're going to get their own therapist. And I'm going to be there now as the mother who has the capacity to hold them through that and be there for them. And that, my friends, is what I want every single mother, if you are one, if you're yet to be one, to come to understand because you're going to shift so much in society. Health, mental health, physical health, everything is going to change.
That's one thing that I say, darling, as it's like I'm so lucky that I am a single mum. So I've been a single mum since my son has been born. And I say, you know what? That is the best because I get to fuck him up my own way.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
own way. So all
Yeah.
the fuck up bits all come from me. Yeah.
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 Great. And he'll deal with them when he has to, how he has to deal with them, and he'll grow with it how he has to grow with it. And that's perfect too. But I was a mum who was not present before. All right. I missed out on a lot of things. Very, yeah, I've missed out on a lot of things. And I had a lot of guilt and a lot of shame about what I did and how I did that through that time. And I still get choked up thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right. So we get to be healthy women. We get to be women who have the capacity to feel it all and not run away from it, be with it, move with it, and let it just expand us and activate us for more.
Yeah.
Like, bring it on. What's next? I can handle this. How are you going to shift and change me now? Another health crisis? Okay, let's go. This is my next thing. How do I step up? How do I hold that? How do I deepen my breath connection? How do I deepen my breath connection to support this next chapter?
Yeah. I think that it just makes it so much easier to choose a green frame that gives
Mm,
light than to go to the red, to go to the shit pit,
yeah.
to go to
Yeah.
that nasty place. Just
Yeah.
by catching yourself and taking a breath or two or three, that clarity comes back in and the ability to choose green,
Mm-hmm.
it just comes.
Oh, a big mindset shift for me, especially using these gloves. All right. I'll let you know on this little secret that has changed everything for me. When I first got them, I did it because I thought I had to. I thought I had to do it to help my health, right? Partly true, yes. My mindset now is I do this because I love myself. I spend the time because I am worthy of that time. I spend the time because I want to connect with who I am in my core. I want to feel her. I want to touch her. And I never used to do that before. Like, I would never think that way before. It was just another job I had to do. Yep, I've got to spend another 2 minutes, 9 minutes doing Chelsea's lymphatic gloves. Yeah, I could look at it like that. Or I could go, I get to love myself because I get to feel my body. I get to touch it. I get to moisturize it. I get to nurture it. I get to reprogram it because I do a lot of breath reprogramming in my meditations that I create for myself. I get to touch, if you're into spirituality, God within myself, because that's what it is, right? So there's a mindset shift here that comes with any health practice or any modality that you put in your life.
Mm.
That's got to be this here. We've got to get this right. We've got to
Yeah,
come at it from a place of love and respect rather than force and need. And
yeah.
then everything changes.
Yeah, because a lot of women talk to me and they say that they just feel useless. They feel
Mm,
worthless.
mm,
Why am I even here? I'm no good to anyone.
mm,
Become good to yourself
mm-hmm.
just for a little bit. Become good for yourself and then watch the change. Watch the
Yeah.
blossom that will then happen around you.
Yeah. And you have to be the one that goes first.
Yeah.
Because for many of us, like myself, I didn't have that leadership from my mum. Bless her. For whatever the reasons were in their lives, they didn't have that same nurture. They didn't have that leadership. Somebody has to take the stand first. And in my family, in my generation, that's me. And I can see that as a burden or I
Mm.
can see that as a fucking gift.
Yeah.
That's what I choose now, right? Someone in your lineage has to go first. Make it you.
Yeah. I had a kinesiology session yesterday. Was amazing, and I'm just going to share this. So my prolactin levels have been going up and up and up and
Mm,
up, and so then I checked, and I did find out that I have now got a tumor, a growth on my in my brain. So we did the kinesiology on that, and and I knew what it was, and it's because
mm,
high prolactin levels is from women who breastfeed, who have to
mm,
feed their community, who have to make sure that everyone is going to survive, everyone
mhm,
is going to live. So I haven't started, spurting milk from my boobs yet, but I did recognize that. And since recognizing that, my levels have gone down.
mm,
And I call
mm,
myself the responsibility queen of our
mm.
family, and I do find that is a massive responsibility now for this movement, this lymphatic movement that we are all building together. But since making the decision to close the clinic and now support other practitioners to help me along the way to do this, my levels are going down in
Yeah,
my prolactin, right? And then I still
yeah.
have a scan to see on my pituitary gland to see whether the tumor's gone down. But I just, it's just amazing how, and then
Hmm.
like to have boob camp and like to have like the
Yeah.
for it to all come like boobies. It's just, you know, of
Girl, this is what the body can do for you, right? We think our body is out to get us, and I spent a long time, many decades in that mindset. My body's failed me. I couldn't have my two children naturally. I had really traumatic emergency cesareans, and then a hysterectomy, and I've had parathyroid out. I've been cut and shut so many times it would make your head spin. I've got keloid scarring. So my internal system, without even having to see it, I know it's a freaking mess. Right. And so that's why lymphatic drainage for me is so important. I'm going to be receiving my compression suit this week. So you best believe there's going to be some content coming your way around how that's going to like elevate my lymphatic healing even more. But you can think that your body's failing you. Chelsea could have very much taken that route, or you can think it's a source of like medicine. And I've had something similar. A few months ago now, I've got one ovary left. Everything else has been taken from me. Even my cervix, it's all gone, apart from this one little ovary floating around in the abyss. And I got a cyst on it, a fibroid cyst. And I was in a lot of pain. I had all the scans and it was there. And I was struck down by so much grief at the proposition of maybe having to lose that ovary and be thrown into menopause without me naturally going into it. That was what I was looking at. So instead of choosing the negative, everything's fucked, this is going to be horrible, I created my own breath meditation. And for 7 days straight, I did that every day on my floor, breathing, connecting to that part of my body, loving that part of my body. 7 days later, in my next scan, it had gone.
Huh?
No
Yes.
trace. The sonographer said there is no trace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's not there.
Yes.
So I completely believe in the power and the need for women to understand that they are true alchemists, and that means medicine healers. I'm not saying that we don't need Western medicine. It needs to work hand in hand, yes. But there is a lot that we can do that we are taken out of our power by society, by our own thoughts. And I want to change that. You have the power to do so much, literally in your hands, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, so many people will look at us and go, what? Huh?
Yeah.
You know, but I've got ladies who have said that the only thing that they've ever bought off Facebook that works
Yeah.
is my gloves. So the importance of breath, right? If like I used to scuba dive as well,
Mm,
and I used to be one of the divers who I could do 2 dives off one tank. And I
mm.
would be watching other people's air go up, and it's like, oh shit, yeah, breathe. Like, and suck in some breath. Is it okay that we know, we acknowledge that we're shit breathers? Is it okay if we just start out for a couple of minutes a day and doing a longer breath sequence, even
Yep.
though that we know that we're shitty in other times?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
And that's what, yes, this is it. This is all I want you to take away from this tonight. If there's one thing I want you to take away from, 2 minutes a day of you just consciously breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, the importance about this next piece, I want you to hear this. The exhale needs to be longer than the inhale. That's all you need to remember. If
Mhm.
you can breathe in for 4, and I want you to blow out through a straw, like you are blowing candles out or like you're blowing through a tiny straw. And I want you to extend that exhale. That's all you need to do. It is so simple and people poo-poo it. But if you do that for 2 minutes, you're going to feel your whole body start to ground and come back down. And that's the exact breath technique we're going to do in this audio. That's what I've created for you. Um, to
Let's do
hear
it.
that, you're also going to hear me breathing. Okay. I had one lady say, you sound like Darth Vader. You're meant to hear me breathe. The reason is so that you've got an anchor to come back to if you lose your way, because you will lose your way. And that's okay, right? I want you to know that that's okay. I don't want you to have your gloves for this right now. I want you to put your gloves down, take away that element, because you're going to use your hands to touch your body in the exact same sequence you would do with your gloves. Okay. And all I want you to do tonight is just listen and breathe. And then at the end of this little sequence, we're going to do. Now, I've extended Chelsea's 2 minute sequence to 9 minutes. We can do 9 minutes,
Mhm.
ladies. We can totally do 9 minutes a day. If you have to get up a little bit earlier, put the kids to bed earlier, whatever you've got to do, you can totally do 9 minutes. So the goal is find yourself a nice comfy position somewhere. If you've got headphones, put them in. But I want you now to just receive, like, lean back and receive. This is also what you're doing when you're doing lymphatic drainage. You're receiving flow, you're receiving energy, you're receiving love, you're receiving breath, life force energy, right? That's what we're receiving here. So if everyone's ready, Yeah, I can see most of you, I think. I'm going to play this little piece. Like I said, it goes for 9 minutes. I'm going to sit and receive and watch your beautiful souls just breathing in this magic energy. Just set yourself an intention now with your eyes closed. And I want you to put down the need to be perfect, to get it right. I want you to notice where your mind goes. If it goes off in other directions, let it, but come back to my breath that you'll hear. Come back to your sequence. And I want you to touch your body in all of the areas. Okay. I'm going to put myself on mute, and then next thing you're going to hear is the meditation.
Welcome to this moment of care and connection with your body. This practice is designed to slow you down and guide you through a gentle lymphatic drainage sequence while helping you establish a steady, conscious breath connection. Together, we'll open pathways in your body to support its natural detoxification and vitality, which offer incredible benefits that ripple into your daily life and beyond. So take a moment, place your hands in your gloves, and let's just connect with a simple breathing technique to calm your mind and prepare your body. This is called the 4-2-6 breath. We're going to inhale gently through our nose now for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for a brief moment and then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is your cycle. Repeat that breath again, letting this breath connection become your anchor. With each inhale, imagine fresh energy entering your body, like the energy you would need to meet the demands of your day, babe. And with each exhale, picture any tension or stagnation leaving your body, just as you would release the mental clutter that builds up on your to-do list. Breathe it out and let it go. Feel your body soften and relax, and let this gentle rhythm guide you through the practice. Now let's begin with our gloves at our chest, spiky side on the skin, tapping across your chest through your heart area, using this to open up the pathways. And now let's start to glide our hands with strokes with the spiky side over your chest, both sides, and your collarbones. As you continue the 4-2-6 breath, matching your strokes with the slow, steady exhale if you feel called. This step clears the central pathways of your lymphatic system, much like decluttering your busy schedule to make way for what truly matters. And as you stimulate your chest and open up that area to release and let go, envision your energy flowing more freely now, supporting your heart as it works tirelessly for you to keep you functioning and energized throughout the day. Now let's move on to the armpits. First stimulating release here, and then activating all sections of your arms, right down to your fingers, pushing the flow in the direction of your heart. Move from one arm to the other. Inhale deeply for 4. Hold for that brief moment of 2, and then exhale again slowly for 6, low and slow as you continue, always connecting with that deep belly breath. Your underarms are home to powerful lymph nodes. Clearing and stimulating this area is like refreshing a crowded inbox. It helps your body process and release what no longer serves it. This is what promotes a lighter, more energized feeling, perfect for tackling your next task, babe, or enjoying those moments with ease. And now let's shift down to your abdomen. It's really important we breathe deeply here. So using circular clockwise motions, pull your gloves around in that circular motion, stimulating the flow, same way that our colon flows. And then dragging your gloves from your back to your front towards your center and around again. Let your exhale guide the movement as you draw the fluid up and around. I want you to know here, this is the base and the center and the home of your breath pump. This is what activates your lymphatic system to flow. Massaging your abdomen also helps reduce bloating and encourages digestion. In the same way that you would clear any distractions away to help you focus on what's more important. This is what you're doing when you're working and spending time here. When you care for this area, you support your body's ability to absorb the nourishment of life. Now moving down to your pelvis. Using upward strokes, let's guide the lymphatic fluid towards your abdomen. Keeping the rhythm of your 4-2-6 breath steady, relaxing deeper into the practice here with each exhale. This area is central to your sense of stability and groundedness, stimulating your groin, your pelvis, your hips and lower back supports your body's natural balance and rhythm. Think of it the same as you were building the foundations in your home. You need to spend time here to create that sense of security and stability, and your presence combined with your breath will connect you deeper into that sacred body of yours and provide that safety and that stability. This is where you create the space for real ease and true flow. Moving down now towards your legs. Starting at the top of your leg, brushing upwards always towards the heart with the spiky side of your gloves. And then moving down to your knees, behind the knees, the lower legs and down to your toes. Always striking, moving upward towards those thighs. And checking back in with your breath, because at the legs, this is where we tend to hold our breath. So again, make sure you're breathing in for 4, having a short hold and exhaling long and slow. You can even match the length of your strokes here if you like, exhaling slowly and completely with each movement. It's up to you. Use your intuition, but always connect back to your breath. Stimulating your legs helps reduce swelling and improve circulation. Like moving through a busy day with a clear direction. By caring for your legs, you're giving them the strength and energy they need to carry you forward and support you in your life's dreams and desires. Both legs, spend your time always coming back to your breath. And now that the sequence is over and your body is activated and your lymph is stimulated and your skin is red and alive, breathe in deeply, my love. Move, shake, jump up and down on the spot a few times. Exhale in, release and let it go with a sigh. And now pause for a moment. Placing your hands over your heart. Take a deep inhale for 4 counts, hold and exhale and repeat 3 times. Reflect on how your body feels now. Does it feel lighter, clearer, energized, tingling? I want you to notice now how this clarity, this energy moves into the rest of your day. As we leave this practice with a final affirmation. My body is strong and resilient, perfectly equipped to support my daily life. With every mindful action, I honor its innate ability to restore, renew, and thrive. I am light, balanced, and ready to embrace my day.
And taking a nice big final breath in now. I want you to just thank yourself for the time and the love you just gave yourself. It might have been the first time that you've given yourself the permission to slow it down. And I want you to just acknowledge how beautiful your body is. You're not broken. There is hope, there is a way through, and your breath is always going to be the anchor for everything that you do. It was such an honor to be here tonight, see all your faces doing this with me. How do you feel? I'd love to hear in the chat box.
I'm crying for one. um, oh, joy.
It's
Just how am I worthy of all of you?
pretty amazing, hey? I want you to just touching on Chelsea's emotion, connecting to your breath will bring up emotion. It's meant to. Don't be afraid of that experience. This is what I do. I hold space for women to connect with their breath and literally let shit that's stored and carried go. Right? So if you get emotional through this lymphatic process, good. Embrace it. Because once your lymph starts to flow, your emotions will start to flow. And things you haven't been able to feel prior, you'll feel. And that's a good thing. It's a really fucking good thing. Right? A lot of our health issues are emotions trapped. I know this has been my life. Everything has manifested that I've gone through stored and blocked emotions in my body. The endo is a classic example, but it rolled on from there. And this is my job, and I've been gifted the opportunity to share it, and that is what I will do.
Yeah,
Come hell or high water.
exactly, honey, exactly. So yeah, thank you so much. It all comes back to what we feed ourselves with, and it's the food and our thoughts. And
Mm-hmm.
if we can start now to make those thoughts, just turn the dial on those thoughts and start being nice to ourselves, say some beautiful things to ourselves, and then let that breath bring it in.
Mm-hmm.
The world isn't going to stop if you don't do all the things on your to-do list. If you need to come back to center to be the person who you want to be for your children,
Yeah.
to be that example. I every day I thank my community because I get to turn up and be the best. I've got you guys to keep me accountable to be my best that I can be. So when you're in boot camp, like ask if someone wants to be an accountability partner for this.
Yeah.
Teamwork, be somebody's cheerleader, have somebody cheer you on. Join, like we're happy. If you want us to say, okay, can we do this every day in boot camp? Can we run a 5-day breath work, and everybody join in and just remind that we're going to just do this for a couple of minutes each day and just cheer each other on. Like I would love that to pieces. Come up with ideas. We're building this together, right? We're building our new selves together. And how that shows up in you is completely perfect each day. So yeah, thank you, Liana. So yes, if anybody wants to turn their microphone on and share, it's now time. You can
Yeah.
yeah.
Ask questions if you like. Connect. I'd love to hear from you. And if you love the meditation, it's in my bio. Go get it. Like, you are worthy of that time, that reminder. So many of my clients just love these meditations because they're like, it's like you're right here in the room with me. Like, you're right here cheering me on, holding my hand through a process, through a shitty day. I've also got free ones on my website. Go get them, consume them, get your breath centered. They're free. I've created them out of my own need. Everything I've created is because I needed it for myself. Like I've created it for me first, and now I get to share it with you. So I'm glad. Sleepy, yeah. When you get your breath right, you will sleep better. And when you combine it with this, like there's no words. My life has completely transformed in the few months that I've been doing this. The expansion, elevation. the reprogramming that I've got going on in my ears every day. When you watch me on my stories and I'm out there doing my like tapping and my breath work on my log outside, that's me reprogramming the shit that was in my head. I wrote it all on paper, I reframed it, and now I listen to it in a meditation I created. And that's what I do personally, privately for women, right? But start here. Start here. Just get that one simple technique. I could give you plenty to do, but I want you to have one that's going to do heaps for you in your life if you commit to it.
Does anybody want to come in and share?
Leanne, I found that very interesting. Thank you for that. And I
Yes,
loved your honesty in relation to your own story. I think that was very heartfelt for me. I know we've all had our own journeys, but the journey that you talked about tonight, it was just mind-blowing that a young lady like yourself has to struggle through that much in your life at such a young age. So I thank you for being honest enough to share, and I thank you for the breath work that you've given us this evening.
Thank you, Leonie. Thank you for seeing me and Valor and just holding me in the space to be able to do that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for receiving my work.
Thank you.
Leonie, while I've got you there, darling, I'm coming to give you a hug on Friday. Are you going to be home?
Yes. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Let me just double check that. I've got 2 things in the morning, but other than that, because I'm going to go and have that. Where am I? I'll be home by after lunch.
Okay.
Okay. You're coming to see me, are you, darling?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like that.
Yeah. I'm going to check out that room.
It's been a long. No, I was going to say it's been a long time, not in the room. Yeah, the room's lovely. I love the room. Very tranquil.
Okay, I'll see you on Friday.
Thank you, my sweet.
Okay.
Any questions?
Want to jump in?
No, you're all a bit sleepy, a bit dreamy.
I joined. What did I join? Instagram this evening and asked you to befriend me, if that's the right word, on Instagram.
Amazing. Yes, please. If you're not already following, I'm losing my voice. If you're not already following, please follow. I share. I've been through a lot of iterations on my Instagram, but what you're seeing now is a very real, raw, honest version of me. What you see here is basically what you get. And a lot of the people that have followed me from the very beginning know that. And I'm really grateful that that's the feedback I constantly get. Like you really obviously are resonating with how I share, and I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Is your website Mother Lung Breath Works? Is that how I already?
Yes, I think Mads has popped it there. Oh, that's my Instagram. He's got.
And he's also put the website there too.
If you go to my Instagram, it's all listed in my bio. Everything's there in a nice little form.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And Amanda's joined from Scotland. How cool is that?
Thank you for being here. Set up to face my day. Yeah, so I use that every day. I've created a different one as well. But start your day like that. Start your day loving yourself, ladies. We forget that the biggest relationship and the love of your life is actually you. Pour that time and energy into you now and watch it transform.
Nicole's also a breath worker, and she says she fully knows the power of our breath, and that was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, great. Is it also on your website?
Just clarify what they mean. I believe that if you mean the audio that we just did, yes. If you go under the tab Work With Me, you'll see that there's the beginner's one, which we just did, and then there's an advanced one that I've created some for those of you who want to go there. Some reprogramming and some reframing subconsciously. Chelsea's done it. She found it a little bit difficult because basically I've layered it. So you'll hear what you heard tonight, but you'll also hear me speaking on another level subconsciously to you at the same time. So some people might not gel with that quite yet. I would suggest leaving that for a little while and just doing your breathing. Just doing that one, set yourself up. Even do a week where you're using your hands at night. So do this in the morning with the gloves, and then at night time, to wind yourself down to get a good night's sleep, don't do the gloves, but use your hands to touch your body and breathe and connect.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, if we don't have any more questions, we're going to finish off our BooB camp. So that has been an amazing... Oh, is anybody else? No? We've had an amazing 3 nights. They always are. Like, I love doing this. So Monday night, we did a lot of education around the lymphatic system, and we did our brushing routine. Tuesday night, we spoke more about how to incorporate lymphatic health into your day each day, and we did our glymphatic sequence for our face. And then, of course, Wednesday nights, we have beautiful special guests. So thank you, Liana, for joining in, taking us through that. And anybody watching on replay, still check out the links, do all the things. We're not going anywhere. Reach out if any of us can help you getting to that next step. That's all that we want to help with, is getting you to the next step.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ladies.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.